Welcome to the RadioU podcast. Coming up, a massive change is coming to the NFL Red Zone.
Also, the plan that guarantees a win to the Powerball.
All that and more on the way next. Joining us on RadioU Mornings today is a very special guest. They just released their new album, Lonely God. We have Ryan from Fit for a King. Ryan, good morning. Thanks for joining RadioU Mornings.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to finally talk to you after we've enjoyed so much Fit for a King music for so long. It's good to finally actually get to meet you. First of all, Ryan, I know you guys in Fit for a King are from Texas, and so I want to know, you're even wearing, that's a Mavericks shirt right now, right?
I know, even with all the Lucas stuff.
Yeah. So, okay, that was tough enough for you to go through. What is your football team?
It doesn't get much better. It's the Cowboys.
Oh,
yeah.
We were worried about that being the case because our own Nene is a Cowboys fan.
Team.
Nice. So the season's about to start. How are you feeling about it, especially now that Micah Parsons is on my Green Bay Packers?
I mean, they just found out he has a bunch of back problems, so that was cool. Maybe it was good they traded him. Also, he has 1 sack in 4 playoff games. So, I mean, I'm not as busted up about it as other people. I mean, if you listen to sports radio locally, you know how the radio shows are usually the most critical in your local area. And they were going crazy, so upset. Now they're all like, you know what? Kenny Clark's pretty good, and 2 first is good, and we got to re-sign 3 people. And Micah Parsons is faking an injury, maybe. So
it's like a bad breakup. It's like a bad breakup when suddenly it's like it was all them. You know, you start coming up manufacturing issues.
And they had a podcast.
I know. It's I guess my last thought is I think the picks aren't going to be good because the Packers are good, but they're one Jordan Love injury away from those being top 10 picks. So, you know.
Ooh,
there you go.
Good point.
There you go. Yeah. Knock on wood for me.
Yeah, that's with every quarterback. Dak Prescott was out all last year.
Yep.
He went from a MVP finalist to not playing an entire season. Mm-hmm. That's the NFL for you.
Well, I wish you good luck, but I do hope those draft picks wind up sucking. Let's move on to.
I understand.
Let's move on to something a little happier then with Ryan from Fit for a King. At least I hope so. Fit for a King, you guys are very successful. You've gone on a ton of tours. You guys have spent a lot of time together as a band. I'm curious. You guys cannot eat fast food the entire time. Who's the best cook in the band?
I'd say Tuck is the best cook. I'm trying to catch up to him. I'm definitely in second place, but I've been stepping it up over the years. After the pandemic, I really started trying to cook more because obviously there was a while where restaurants just straight up weren't open.
Yeah,
so that helped me close the gap a little bit. But he's an amazing cook.
What is cooking like on the road when you're in a band? How does that exactly work?
I wish I could say we cooked a lot, but we don't very much. But we definitely spend more money to eat not fast food. So it's really expensive because it's nothing crazy. But instead of going to a McDonald's or Shake Shack, you go to a Chipotle, or you go to, what is the other one that's really popular? Sweet Green.
Sweet
really
Green.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, it's still eating out, which is not going to be as good for you as eating at home, but it's hard because on the bus, if there's 10 or 11 people and there's not a lot of counter space on a tour bus.
Yeah.
And there was one time I was making steak on a bus and it just smoked out the whole bus. And some people on the bus are vegan. And then it's you don't want them to be upset that the whole bus smells like steak. And then the worst part is cleaning it because there's not a garbage disposal in the sink. You're not supposed to let anything go down it, and the water pressure is not good. And you have limited water on the bus. It's a whole thing. But now there's portable air fryers, and I was maybe I'll mess with that.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
I think
honestly.
all of what you just said, though, is a cautionary tale for like all the van life people.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like they're like, we're going to, live out of our van. But like you just listed a bunch of reasons why maybe you don't want to do that.
Well, I think we are being lazy to a degree because Dana from Kingdom of Giants was cooking every day, and they were in a van and he was so it just showed he cared more. Yeah, so I'm gonna put some of that on laziness. I won't try to dodge that.
Come by it honestly. I like that.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ryan, we do want to talk about music because obviously we love your music here at Radio U. You dropped the new album Lonely God last month, and Nene has been like fully in on the lore, explaining everything to me. And basically, I describe him like the meme from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where he's got like the yarn and the pictures behind him. Yeah. He's just like, listen, here's what's going down. So I want to know from your point of view, what does that look like to come up with this story? Are you storyboarding? Are you writing stuff? Like how does this all come together?
It's a lot of like just in my head late night thinking because I can't turn my brain off ever. So it was at least directed into something productive. And then I really like, especially before that, we were doing the whole cycle for Lonely God. I've just been very into shows with deep lore. I think it was inspired by, I rewatched Game of Thrones for the first time since it came out, which what's kind of crazy is the first season came out when I was 19 or 20.
Wow.
So watching it again at 34 is like such a different experience and still disappointing in the last season.
Yeah.
That doesn't change.
I was going to say, not the best ending for that
It was
story.
actually less disappointing when you go into it thinking it's going to be the worst thing ever. Because then when it's like,
keeping
when
those
it's like a 4 out of 10, but you thought it was a 1, it's like, oh, that's fine. But I forgot like how incredible the first 6 seasons were.
Oh,
but
so good.
All that being said, I love like the Lord of the Rings stuff. I love Game of Thrones. I'm watching a show called The Expanse right now. Basically anything that has like big world building. And then you see bands like Sleep Token building like a really cool world around their band. So that was like really inspirational. And obviously there's budget constraints in metalcore. So we have to figure out how to like scale it in a way that isn't corny because it can get cheesy so fast if you try to like go too big on too small of a budget, which we don't have like a small budget, but we also don't have TV show budget.
Yeah. So, it's not unlimited.
Yeah. So figuring out like, how can we do this in a way that's like cool and not just cool, like looks cool. And, so we're starting to build like a tiny world, and it's definitely going to be like a multi-album thing because that's just easier to pace on and not spending like $1 million trying to make stuff look cool.
Yes. Well, that's exciting. I want to rewind to like one of the first things you said, which is a lot of it comes from you like lying awake at night. How much does this happen? I don't know if you remember the comedian Mitch Hedberg, that he's lying in bed and he's like, sometimes I think of something funny in bed and I either have to find a pen and paper and write it down or convince myself it's not funny. Like, is that something that sounds true to you? Yeah. Of like, you're lying there and you're like, is this really worth writing? Do I have to get up and do something with this? Or is it just kind of a throwaway thought?
I think there are times I'll like write lyrics in a note or something. It doesn't happen as much as it used to. I've started being more of like a morning creative person, which is kind of nice. It used to just be late night. Which obviously the late night thing, I think the lore thing came from, I would watch a TV show, then go to bed. And so I'd be thinking about the show a lot. And I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool to do this or do that. And like, that was just recent because I feel like going back to Sleep Token, like bands had done it in the past, but they kind of like really normalized like, hey, just make it a world, make like your whole band like a universe type thing. I think that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I have one more thing, and that is you guys at Fit for a King, like for a metalcore band, I feel like you guys are incredibly successful and you've done a lot. So my question to you is, what is left on your musical bucket list as an individual and also as a band? What is left for you guys that's on the checklist of you want to accomplish?
I mean, it sounds boring. My goals as I get older change, and now it's just I just want the band to be big enough to where my family can live comfortably, and I only play music for the rest of my life. I don't really, I don't see bands that are just like are absolutely enormous, like Falling in Reverse, Sleep Token, Bad Omens, all that, and I don't feel like not even jealous. I don't even know if jealousy is the right word, but back when I was in my 20s, I would see that and be like, I want that so bad. And like now I'm just like, you know what? That would be cool if we got there, but I just want to write music we like. And as long as everyone I care about is taken care of and all that, then I'm happy.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's simple, but relatable.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain. Obviously, we're going to do our best to like write our music and present our music. But I don't think we don't feel the need to like sell our souls to do it. If we just end up there, then cool.
All right. Well, we wish you a lot of luck, and we hope you do blow up even more than you already have, because we love you here on Radio U. Ryan from Fit for a King, thanks for taking the time with us. It's good to finally get to talk to you.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. It's Fit for a King on Radio U. The NFL season kicks off tonight. You might need to find a new way to watch the NFL games, though. 8772 Radio U. That's because yesterday it was official. The world's largest illegal sports streaming site was shut down. If you've ever used Stream East, goodbye to that.
Yeah.
It was, for many, a sad day. An end of an era when Stream East was shut down. This was a site that so many people had turned to. Literally, it says that the website, all of the different domains that it had used, had amassed 1.6 billion visits as long as it had been up and running.
Wow.
That's a lot of sports that was illegally streamed.
Right. That's a lot of people, a lot of visits. Well, and further down in this article, it even mentions LeBron James himself.
Yeah, I remember that. Caught
using Stream East for a game. So everybody was using this site at one point or another. I never used this. But I know a lot of people that did, and a lot of people that are extremely sad that it's gone. Then, as you mentioned, the day before the NFL season kicks off.
It's crazy timing. And a lot of people pointing out, like, we can devote the resources. Granted, like, it sounds like this was mainly, like, despite it being the biggest legal sports streaming site in the world, it also seems like it's such a small operation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, somehow we arrest 2 guys in Egypt after a year-long investigation. You think of all the other crimes going on in the world that, like, we just never can seem to solve. But Stream East, these 2, some would call them Robin Hood-esque figures, get brought down within a year's time from when the investigation starts, the day before the NFL season kicks off.
Yeah, the timing seems all too convenient, but I will say it was illegal, so I can't complain. You know, it truly was an illegal thing, and so it should be shut down. But a lot of people are very sad today.
These men clearly were not paying attention to that thing that airs before the game. That's always like, the following is rights of any broadcast or retransmission of this was not permitted unless expressly written consent of the NFL or whatever it is. They ignored that, and now I'm curious what kind of punishment they will receive. But also, I think I speak for a lot of people when I say you cut off the head of this creature and 3 more will sprout up behind it. Yeah,
there's so many illegal streaming websites for sports, live TV, all of that type of stuff. So, it's a big deal that this one went down because this was probably the biggest for sports.
Yeah.
But as you point out, like, that doesn't mean that this stops illegal streaming.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
And there is certainly a will with the amount of subscriptions you would need to watch just the NFL. Forget about all the other sports that you might like to enjoy.
Right.
It's out of hand. So while, again, it's illegal, there's many more criminals I've been much more upset about.
Yes.
than these two guys. It's also funny that I was literally seeing people like reacting on social media that are like, they would sooner pay for these guys like their bail or whatever than they would to subscribe
like
to everything.
NFL
for
Sunday
YouTube
ticket
TV.
or something.
Yeah. That's
funny.
The irony. There's a wild new dating trend going around. 8772 Radio U. It's called Shrekking.
Oh.
And it's a bit controversial. I'll explain, see if you can see why. Basically, the idea of Shrekking, you think about the very first Shrek movie, Shrek and Fiona falling in love.
Yes.
Shrekking is where you deliberately date down, where you're looking for people to date that you believe are less conventionally attractive or desirable in hopes of finding something more real, finding a personality that you get along with better.
Okay. I don't really understand like why you have to, I guess, look for somebody less attractive or whatever to just find a personality that you like. Maybe instead of focusing on any type of looks for anyone, just focus on who you have a connection with.
Let's be honest, Allie. Conventionally attractive people like me can tend to be, sometimes we're too confident. We're a little arrogant. We're a little annoying. And while the thought of being with someone like me can be very, fun at first, you get to be seen with this person. At the same time, when you have to actually be with them and be around them for so long, it can be a bit much. So you're like, maybe if I date down and lower my attractiveness standards a little bit, I might find somebody with a better personality.
Maybe that, I'm not saying it can't work, but it does seem a little bit like, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, but weirdly enough, like we call people superficial when they date for looks. And I feel like this is still superficial to date down, to be like, I'm looking for somebody less attractive than me, or like what I normally look for.
We never said anything about you yourself. We're saying
I'm just
you're
saying
dating
that's
down
what
in the rankings. If you're always saying I need an 8 or higher, and the 8s aren't working out because while they may be beautiful or sexy, they just always seem a bit vapid or just don't have the same interest as you.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to slide down to a 5 or a 6, and maybe those people, they may not be as much to look at, but they're, when you got to be around them, that's what being able to stand somebody actually means more.
I'm not saying that it's not an okay idea to date down or whatever. I just think the whole concept of like dating down or dating up, in or out of your league, I just think that's like a very superficial way to look at dating because it's based on looks.
But looks matter.
Looks do indeed matter, but I don't think they should be that weighty for us.
What about how one TikToker put it? She says, we've all been there. We give the guy we're not attracted to a chance, thinking he will for sure know what he has and treats us well. And then we get traumatized by a whole troll.
Yeah, and that's another part of this too. It's like, are you gonna hurt your own? I guess like, is it ego or pride or whatever when the person that you think you're dating down for ends up like, I don't know, ghosting you or something, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I was lowering my standards for you.
In this case, in that specific case, that is definitely raising yourself up and setting yourself up for a fall.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself on a pedestal.
Yes,
so
you are.
You have to watch out for that.
And that's what I mean by I feel like this is superficial still. Like even because we call, again, people that date for looks superficial. So if you're dating thinking like, well, I'm dating down to find a better personality, then you are elevating yourself in a way. And so it is kind of superficial still.
And I think maybe women are underestimating here because, in this case, that unattractive guys can still be absolutely devious,
Devious?
And sometimes they might even be more likely to because like we've seen the guys online that look like they just sit in their basement, like they've never seen sunlight in 8 years.
Yeah.
And by feeling like they've been rejected by so many people, it gives them a complex that just really makes them feel like it
They're
doesn't
just
matter.
miserable to be around.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to watch out for that too, just because you may be a prize, but he's not going to appreciate that because it's just not how his mindset is.
Right. So don't date for looks. Date for personality, I guess.
Looks are a part of the package.
It is, but don't make it the number one part.
Make sure it's not the only part of the package that you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
Superman is making a comeback. 8772 Radio U. It's actually not that far away. The sequel to this summer's blockbuster hit, Superman, coming in July of 2027. James Gunn shared the news yesterday on his Instagram. The caption simply, Man of Tomorrow, in theaters July 9th, 2027.
Yeah, this is an interesting announcement from James Gunn. I think we all anticipated that they would obviously continue with this DCU that James Gunn is the head of, because Superman has been successful, not as successful as I was thinking it was going to be, because it actually made less money than Man of Steel, which is crazy, but pretty good. Definitely made the most of any recent superhero movie, especially from this year. But next year, they're going to have the Supergirl movie. I believe in 2027, they're also going to have Matt Reeves' second Batman movie. So they're really starting to build this. I was kind of anticipating, though, with this next Superman movie, they would wait for like the new Batman to come out first, and then maybe do one that was like Batman and Superman together.
Oh, that seems like getting out over your skis a little bit, doesn't it?
I think they're gonna wait and see how the second Batman does, and then maybe try and combine them after. But I also have heard that they may just keep them separately entirely, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, we don't need everything to combine into one all the time.
Well, I don't want a universe.
Yeah,
I really don't.
As somebody who just watched Thunderbolts from Marvel and enjoyed the movie, but also there was characters in that movie that have appeared in previous stuff, and I'm like, what previous stuff was this person in? Like, where do they come from?
Same when I watched that. I was like, I don't know who this person is and what movie or show they're from.
Yeah. And what I found is that some of them are from other movies that I have seen, and I don't even remember them.
Right.
Which, I don't know, maybe that says more about me than the universe, but at the same time, it's just like the average person, like it's a lot to keep up with. And if you just make the movies good, they don't have to intersect and combine too much.
100%.
And so, yeah, let's just let the Superman movies be good and the Batman movies be good, and maybe a universe comes, but let's not push that too quickly.
Yeah, don't force it, because I loved the Batman. I loved the Penguin series, which was like taking part in that Batman universe that Matt Reeves has created. So I'm excited to go back to that in 2027. They finally started production for that second part. But I'm excited for Man of Tomorrow and excited for Supergirl next year. But I don't know. There's parts of James Gunn's ideas and universe that I'm a little iffy on. So yeah. I'm not 100% in the boat. I'm like halfway in the boat.
The other thing is, and this is only partially DC and James Gunn's fault, but we're still experiencing, I think, a bit of superhero overload.
Fatigue.
Where this summer we had Superman, we had Fantastic Four, we had Thunderbolts. We probably had something else I'm forgetting.
We had Captain America earlier this year.
Right, and it's a little, because it doesn't feel special anymore, it's a little too much.
Yep.
And it's just, and yeah, Marvel is responsible for the majority of that at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was times where it felt very special that superhero movies were coming out. And so it was an appointment thing.
Right.
Now it does, like, I only went and saw one out of those 3 or 4, if you include Captain America, this year. So in theaters, I still want to watch them all, but it's just, you can't, they can't all feel special. They can't all feel like you have to be there for this.
No, they don't feel like that, which I am glad that DC's pacing itself. They seem to be doing one movie a year.
Well, we get 2 superhero or Superman movies in 2 years apart. That feels like a lot.
Well, I think rather than trying to push this movie in the same year as a Supergirl movie, I think it's a good idea because 2027 it's far away.
Yeah.
They haven't even started filming this movie yet. And so it's not coming tomorrow. So I do think that it's good that they're not trying to be like, yeah, we're going to start making 5 movies a year. It's like, no, 1 movie a year is good enough. I do think they'll overlap with 2 movies where they'll have Batman and Superman come out both in 2027. But I'm not for sure on when the second Batman date releases.
There's part of me that's like, well, I definitely get it because Superman is going to be your cash cow, Superman and Batman, and so you want
Batman's really your cash cow.
Especially as when Superman did fairly well this summer, you want to just not waste any time.
You want to build off of it.
But also 2 years is close together for something like that. We're trying not to go too football crazy today, but come on, it's the first day of the NFL season.
The NFL season is starting!
Send in your predictions for the season at 8772 Radio U, and for the game tonight, Eagles and Cowboys. Anybody picking the Cowboys? Anyone?
Nope.
Anyone?
Maybe Nene.
Yeah, I don't even think Nene. Allie, let's do our predictions for the NFL season. I've spent the last, 8 months thinking about these.
Oh, yes. It's been a minute.
But why don't we let's cut to the chase. Who do you have in your conference championship games this year?
I've got a rematch in the AFC.
So that'd be what, Bills and Chiefs?
Bills and Chiefs. But this year, Josh Allen gets it done. He beats the Chiefs. And he makes it to the Super Bowl.
That's a popular pick.
I'm going with it. I love Josh Allen. I've been a huge Josh Allen fan for a long time. And last year, he won me a fantasy football championship as my starting QB.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe in him. I think he can get it done.
You owe it to him. He won you a championship.
I know. Now he needs to win. Now he needs to win one actually in real football, not in fantasy football.
Okay, so you have the Bills over the Chiefs. What about in the NFC?
I have the Eagles and the Lions. Eagles going back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not going as conventional as you from just based on what we saw last year.
Okay.
I have in the AFC the Steelers beating the Bengals.
What?
I have the Steelers beating the Bengals.
Okay.
Obviously, I've said this before. I feel like I'm rehashing, but I just say smart things over and over again. And that is that the Steelers, with Mike Tomlin as coach, have been winning. They've been going 9-8, 10-7 with actual pumpkins at quarterback. Who are these people?
I know.
Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, the ghost of Ben Roethlisberger. Who was their quarterback last year? Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah, something crazy.
Now they have an MVP. And while I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers will be MVP, I think this is more similar to Peyton Manning during his time with the Broncos, where the defense was absolutely insane. Peyton Manning did have one MVP year where he broke the touchdown record or whatever.
Right.
But they also won the Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be amazing. He just has to be better than Russell Wilson. And
so Steelers win AFC?
Steelers win the AFC over Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Gosh, I hope and pray that does not happen.
And then in the NFC, no surprise, I have the Packers. I would have had the Packers anyways, and then they traded for Micah Parsons.
Okay.
I have them over the 49ers.
Wow, San Francisco.
Yeah, and I'm a 49ers hater, but...
I like Brock Purdy. I think he's a great quarterback.
I don't, but I still think that they're going to be... Their division's not that great this year.
You have them going to the NFC Championship. You better like Brock Purdy.
I like him. I think they get there, and I think he's okay, but the rest of the team... And I don't know, I just feel like it's not always the same as we think it's going to be year over year in and year out.
That's fair, but I do feel like it's almost inevitable that we'll see the Eagles back in the Super Bowl this year. But who knows? Who knows? So who do you have winning your Super Bowl in Steelers versus Packers?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the Steelers.
Really?
Because I'm not a homer.
Oh, you're not a homer, but you do love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but
clearly.
Because he's good. And because the Steelers are good, and this is Aaron Rodgers' swan song. He gets to go out over his former team that ran him out of town And then the Packers have a bright future ahead. Micah Parsons, Jordan Love, they've got another decade of winning Super Bowls, but this is the one chance for the Steelers. They're all in on this year.
I'll tell you what happens. Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles. Will Howard comes in and takes him to the championship. Wins the Super Bowl.
I guess that would be, depending on what time of the season that happens, I'd be okay with that.
All right. So now let's get to some, or I guess I should say,
yeah, you have
for
Bills
me,
and Eagles. Who do you have?
For me, I have the Bills getting the Super Bowl. Like
Okay.
I said, I mean, I want Josh Allen to win his championship this year. I want him to get the ring.
Here's my last question for you. Who do you have as the number one pick? Who will get the number one pick in the draft?
Oh, who will get the number one pick?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a gauge on how the bad teams are going to do this year.
I think it's too obvious, but it's the Saints, right?
I mean, I think they have a chance to be the worst team, but also, I don't know. I really don't know.
Mr. Beast's next project, maybe his most ambitious yet. 8772 Radio U. According to some leaked documents, a leaked investor deck, Mr. Beast may be working on his own branded mobile phone service, cell service.
I mean, he's got candy. He's got a burger chain. At this point,
is that still in business?
I have no idea.
Beast Burgers?
I have no idea. I haven't heard if it's out of business or not.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I guess I've just never seen one.
I haven't either. But he's dabbled in a little bit of everything.
He's got Lunchly.
Yeah.
And now, possibly next, he may be launching his own cell service. Think like how Ryan Reynolds has Mint Mobile. It would be along those same lines.
Okay.
Where the way it would work, according to the what was leaked, is it would launch next year, and it would work the same way Mint Mobile does, where like it uses Verizon or T-Mobile or one of the major carriers and uses their network, and it goes over the top, or however they describe it.
Yeah.
But kind of like uses their technology, but brands it in a different way, and you get different perks and whatever.
Yeah. Cheaper
and probably
prices.
Definitely cheaper.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's an interesting idea. I'm not sure why this is something Mr. Beast feels like he needs to get into it. But it does baffle me, Allie, that people do use Verizon and T-Mobile and like the major carriers when they are so much more expensive. And I've never had one of the, like I use Boost now, and I've never been like, oh, I wish I had Verizon. Like, I've never done that. Like, you just always have phone service. So I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah, I will say I have Verizon, and that was just because when I moved back to the U.S., a bunch of people I knew, including family members, had Verizon. And so it was just kind of natural to join on a plan with them, which if you are on a plan, it's usually cheaper than, like, let's say if you're paying individually, you're paying crazy amount of money.
Yeah. And with Mint Mobile, like it's cheaper to do that, but you do have to pay up front.
Yes.
Which is a little different.
Yeah.
So a bigger lump sum, but then you can just not worry about it for a while. And over the course of time, it makes more sense financially, but I've also never used Mint Mobile. So
I haven't either. I haven't heard anything as far as like how reliable the network is or whatever. But I remember when I was deciding on a network when when I moved back, a lot of people I knew had Verizon, but some people I knew had T-Mobile as well. But my decision was based off of what I heard from other people about where I was living, where they were like, okay, this network works better here versus here. And so where I lived, I guess Verizon was the best one. And so that helped determine that decision for me too.
But let's get back to Mr. Beast. I wonder, what is it about this that he's drawn to? Like,
I don't know.
Is there really such a hole in the market?
No, not at all.
And it also doesn't seem like Mr. Beast, honestly, it feels like his appeal is to like younger people that probably aren't even paying for their own phone service.
Yeah.
But the majority anyways. So the cachet that comes with this is a Mr. Beast thing doesn't feel like it would work for the people that actually need that would consider switching their phone service.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just like once you start paying on your own, you're like, I remember Mr. Beast has one.
I'm going to switch to Mr. Beast.
Yeah. My parents just don't get it.
Yeah. I wonder what the name's going to be for it.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Because he does have some pretty good branding.
Yeah,
Can't lie.
Lunchly, Feastables.
Feastables is a great brand name.
Maybe he calls it Phoneable.
Phoneable?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he'll come up with something good, I'm sure. I'm sure he already has a marketing team working on it.
Yeah.
If they are truly going forward with this. They said there was a quote from somebody that's closely connected with Mr. Beast, and basically they said that this is not an immediate priority. So it might be a while before we see anything about this.
I guess. Yeah, it does seem, it just seems like an odd thing to do.
It does.
I seem to trust Mr. Beast as like a businessman. Like he hasn't made all that money by being stupid.
Sure.
So I think he knows what he's doing, but also it doesn't seem like it makes sense on the surface. The hand strikes and gives a flower. As the NFL season starts tonight, which is very exciting, very good news. That's the flower.
So it's backwards. Gives a flower and then gives a strike.
Gives a flower and then strikes with an iron fist. There is bad news that comes with the NFL season starting.
Okay.
This is horrible news, honestly. Red Zone, an NFL staple, hosted by Scott Hansen, for the first time throughout the season coming up this year, will have ads in some capacity.
No.
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
I know we talked about this at the end of the NFL season, that this was likely coming, but it just... It's a bigger blow than we realized.
Yeah, because they had tested it out last year.
Yep.
With some like split screen ads and whatever.
And everyone hated it.
It sucked. It definitely sucked. But now it's just going to be a regular occurrence. So much so that Scott Hansen, the host, his catchphrase, one of his catchphrases is the opening to Red Zone has always been 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. But
no
he's not going to be able
longer.
to say that anymore.
That's gone.
Now he says it's going to be 7 hours of Red Zone football starts now.
Boo.
That means we're getting commercials.
Boo, Scott.
Probably lots of them.
Why did you agree to this, Scott? Why?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have decision-making power. But
I know, but he could have held out. He could have said, no, I'm not agreeing to this.
I know, but that sounds nice, but they just would have replaced it with somebody else.
You're right.
And
can you imagine having a new host and ads?
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be terrible.
It's such a special experience, though. Like such an efficient way to enjoy football that even with this, like it's going to be hard to not put up with it and like do something different. But it definitely is going to diminish the experience that has really been like the purest. Like it's been. I really think like one of the best inventions that's ever come to professional sports was the Red Zone channel. So much so that other sports have tried to replicate it, and it's not quite the same when it's not football.
No.
But they try to have their own thing with baseball, hockey, basketball, and that's because the Red Zone is just so perfect.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for that particular sport. With other sports, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like the Red Zone. I remember when Aaron Judge was on his big home run push to break the AL record. Every time that he would come up to bat, and the MLB Network would put his at-bat on television because it was like, well, is he going to break the record? Like when he was getting close, when he was like at 60 or something. And so that was the only thing that was kind of close where it'd be like, okay, this is a big moment that we have to show everybody right now. But yeah, there's really nothing from any other sport like a Red Zone.
Yeah, because in other sports, you don't know the moment
when
is coming.
People are going to score.
Yeah, I wish The Office quote, I wish you knew the good old days. You were in the good old days before they happen. That's sport. That's every other sport.
Yeah.
But the NFL has the Red Zone. You know when somebody's about to score or not.
Right.
When it's a pivotal moment in a game. And so, yeah, you just can't replicate that. And it's just sad that while it's not going away, the Red Zone, it's just not going to be the same.
It's going to be different.
Yeah. But you know what? The one thing you can count on, RadioU is the one place that will always be safe from ads.
Always commercial free.
Unlike, we should start every segment that way.
We should.
Yeah, another segment of commercial free RadioU. Another forever. The Powerball drawing was last night. Good news. There was no winner. That means the jackpot goes up.
Oh, wow.
Again.
This has got to be like getting close to record number, right?
It's getting there. The jackpot now for Saturday night's drawing, that's the next drawing, is estimated to be about $1.7 billion.
Ooh.
This puts it as the third biggest Powerball in U.S. lottery history. In 2022, there was a $2.04 billion jackpot. And in 2023, it got to $1.765 billion.
So it's really close to being like the second highest.
Yes.
If it goes one more round, it'll be easily.
There's for sure. There's a possibility it could be the second biggest.
Yeah.
Because it is estimated at this point. I have an opportunity.
Okay.
For everyone.
For everyone?
Yeah.
What's the opportunity?
All right. Powerball tickets are $2.
Yes.
The jackpot is $1.7 billion.
Oh, you think we should pair up?
Even if you only take the lump sum, it's $770 million.
Yeah.
You do have to pay taxes.
Right.
But the odds of winning the Powerball are 1 in 292 million, and then with some 292 million times $2. Basically, you could buy every number combination for $584 million.
Okay.
Now that's, again, so that guarantees you win the jackpot.
Yeah.
But you have to pay taxes on the jackpot.
Yeah.
So you would dip down below the $584 million. But remember, we've bought every combination. So we've won all the other prizes as well. Some of which are $1 million and stuff. So I think the math is starting to check out. And if you take the annuity, that's more than 770 million. That's the whole jackpot, $1.7 billion. Yeah, but you would minus taxes.
You'd be a lot in debt there.
So I think the math is mathing here. If we can just all get together. If some investor wants to pair with me, since I figured out this math, that'd be profitable to buy every. Now we just have to figure out a way to buy every Powerball combination between now and Saturday night.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy. That's 292 million combinations.
Yeah, that's going to take a long time.
And keep track of all those tickets.
Woo! I think that might not be worth it. I don't know if the math really is mathing on that with like the taxes and all of that stuff. But I do know there are groups of people that come together. Like I don't know if they call them pools or something like that, but they'll all buy tickets and then they'll split the loot if they win.
Well, I love talking about the Powerball when it gets to this.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the most universal things that everybody has an opinion on.
It's true.
Even if you never have played the Powerball, then you're like, it's still your odds are still 1 in 2, almost 300 million.
Right.
Why would you do that? Even $2. Why would you put that?
Yeah.
It's like, because I could have almost $2 billion.
Yeah.
For two.
It is also just fun to think about like what you would spend that money on.
Oh, I had tickets for last night and I was like, so if I wake up and I won, I won't have the money yet, but am I coming to work?
Oh no! You would just abandon me?
I wouldn't abandon. It would definitely be fishy though.
Yeah.
I would have a reason because I wouldn't want you to know that I had won it.
That's right. That's exactly right. You can't tell anybody.
So I think I would come in, but I said this to Mrs. Hudson. I was like, but if I knew that I won the Powerball last night, how would I do a normal show? How would I talk about things normally?
You would be through the roof.
I wouldn't be able to think straight.
No.
And I'd be all like thinking about all the accountants and lawyers and whatever I'd have to hire. So
right.
I've thought way too far into this for something that has a 1 in 292 million chance of happening.
And that's I guess that's the draw of the Powerball. It's like it'll get you thinking to those stages, even though it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, but fun to imagine.
Yep.
And you know what? Maybe I'll buy a couple tickets.
Oh.
For Saturday.
Maybe.
Since to increase my odds.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.